Oscar De La Hoya of Golden Boy Promotions is dropping a pretty big hint that he thinks he can set up a huge mega fight between his fighter, WBC junior middleweight champion Sal Canelo Alvarez, and unbeaten WBC welterweight champion Floyd Mayweather Jr. on either May 4th or September 14th. Now, the thing about these is that Mayweather scheduled himself to fight them both of those days, and then Golden Boy did the same with Alvarez, no doubt hoping that they could somehow convince Mayweather Jr. to fight their guy Canelo. Now, who knows if they'll succeed, but it looks as if Golden Boy are trying their hardest to make that happen. So the thing about these is that Canelo, well, he hasn't fought Austin Trout, much less anyone else of really high quality. He's fight welterweight, despite being the junior middleweight champion, and yet he wants Mayweather. Now, De La Hoya told that those two dates, May 4th and September 14th, he's looking forward to one of those dates to break his all-time pay-per-view record of 2.4 million buys done with Mayweather Jr. in 2007. Those two dates, you're going to see a blockbuster, and that's all you need to know. Some people don't believe it, but Mayweather isn't going to fight Canelo on May 4th because Robert Guerrero is going to be the guy he faces. So De La Hoya shouldn't, play these games, as if he can make the Mayweather and Alvarez fight. I just don't think it's going to happen. In fact, Canelo doesn't want to fight the WBA World Junior Weight Middleweight Champion Austin Trout on May 4th. De La Hoya is going to be going to hurt Canelo standing with a lot of boxing fans because it looked like they're keeping Canelo away from Trout. So the Trout versus Miguel Cotto fight was supposed to be set where Alvarez faced the winner of the fight, but when Trout dominated Cotto by outboxing him, all of a sudden Richard Schaefer of Golden Boy Promotions started dragging his feet at the idea of putting Alvarez in with Trout. What makes it look especially bad is that Golden Boy has matched Canelo with pretty much nothing welterweights, since he picked up the WBC 154-pound title. Now, Canelo hasn't faced anyone that you can call a good junior, middleweight, since he won the title against the welterweight Matthew Hatton. And Canelo has faced one junior middleweight, Ryan Rhodes, and with the rest of being welterweights or light welterweights. Now, if De La Hoya could put a fight together between Mayweather and Canelo in September, I don't think I see that fight breaking pay-per-view records. Canelo, he's not even close to being well-known as De La Hoya when he faced Mayweather, and Canelo has only been fighting on U.S. television for the last 2 years. It's always been undercard fights against weak opposition for the most part, like 40-year-old over-the-hill Shane Mosley, light welterweight, Josecito Lopez, welterweight Matthew Haddon, welterweight Ponzo Gomez, and welterweight Kermit in Sinchuan. Those all have been mismatches with Alvarez facing small guys on undercards. Canelo is a star in Mexico, but not in the United States yet. For that to happen, Golden Boy is going to need to take off the training wheels and put him in with Trout. Would they do that? Probably not. Trout's too good and Alvarez is too flat-footed and easy to hit. So, Canelo isn't a huge star in the US, but it's because his opposition, he's been born, he's fighting on undercards. Mayweather Canelo fight would likely maybe draw 1.5 mil buys at the most, probably. Could be a much bigger fight, but Golden Boy hasn't built up Canelo the right way by putting him in against good opposition.